Coming up, money is tight right now, but sheriff's offices find a way to ease the burden of paying for inmates. President Obama makes a trip to Colorado to visit with families of victims and get the latest on the investigation. Plus, Warner Brothers is left wondering how to market a movie forever linked to such a tragedy.
Broadcasting in high definition. On your side, this is KTBS-3 News Weekend.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Wagoner. The state of Louisiana is among many states struggling to pay for its expenses. Now, one large expense is housing inmates in the Department of Corrections prison system. To help ease the burden, sheriff's offices around the state have been housing state inmates, but for a fee. And that fee has turned into a great source of revenue, especially in this area. KTBS-3's Craig Sims has more. And this is how much the state is paying sheriff's offices in Northwest Louisiana. Claiborne Parish has earned the most this year at nearly $4.4 million. Caddo comes in second with nearly $3.7 and Bossier third at nearly $3.6 million. Caddo and Bossier parishes plan to continue housing state inmates. Turning now to the latest out of Colorado. A vigil is planned tonight in Aurora to honor the victims of the deadly theater shooting. President Obama is meeting the victims' families this afternoon. Meanwhile, investigators say the suspect, James Holmes, may have been planning this mass shooting for months. Sandra Endo reports from Aurora. Now, an aspiring chef was among the victims in that shooting. Alex Sullivan was celebrating his 27th birthday when he went to the premiere of The Dark Knight Rises. Well, now his family is remembering this talented young man who had a gift for making people smile. Sierra Putman has the story. For whatever reason the shooter chose the latest Batman movie, it leaves the studio in an extremely difficult position. It was supposed to be the biggest blockbuster of the year. But how do you market a movie now forever linked to America's worst mass shooting? ABC's John Schifrin has the story. And turning now to your local court watch, Samuel Lee Jordan is expected back in Judge Mike Pittman's court tomorrow. Jordan is charged with the first-degree murder in the 2008 death of 8-week-old Lyrica Kennedy. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Jury selection begins tomorrow. Here's a heads up to motorists. Beginning Monday, the eastbound lane of Louisiana 526 will be closed between Flournoy Lucas and Dean Roads. It will be closed from 8:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon. Now, the road should reopen on Friday. The LA 525 bridge over Boggy Bayou between Southern Hills and Spring Ridge will also be closed for the next 5 days for piling repairs. Motorists will be detoured to LA 789, LA 5, US 171, and LA 525. Still ahead on KTBS-3 News Weekend, a New Orleans hotel hits the ground. Where the Grand Palace now stood is now a pile of rubble. But first, meteorologist Rhonda Lee has your complete Storm Team 3 weather forecast. That's coming up next. We'll be right back.
Not really. And for the most part, we're looking at more small chances of rain and higher temperatures over the next few days. We're going to keep an eye on that latter part of the week, Judy. It could get a little dicey and warm.
So, does that mean we're going to have humidity as well?
Oh, of course. It's Louisiana.
Just a little, 54%. It seems worse today.
Well, it's still sticky.
It is sticky. All right, thanks so much, Rhonda. Well, we're inching closer to the KTBS-3 St. Jude Dream Home giveaway. An open house this weekend gave people a closer look at it. The beautiful 4-bedroom, 3-bath house is valued at $350,000. It could be yours, but you have to buy a $100 ticket for the chance to win. This year's home is located in Shreveport's Providence subdivision. Now, if you miss this weekend's open house, you can also catch a showing on August 4th and 5th. On Saturday, you can see the home from 9 until 5, Sunday from noon until 5. Coming up in your news across the nation, once a symbol of football greatness is now viewed by many as a reminder of abuse. Penn State removes the Paterno statue in an effort to help people heal from the scandal. Details on the way. And new details out of Iowa in the case of 2 missing cousins. We'll be right back. Taking a look now at your news across the nation. A New Orleans eyesore is now history. Now take a look as the Grand Palace Hotel as it came crashing down in a planned implosion this morning. People living around the area were evacuated for safety concerns. A nearby interstate was also closed for most of the afternoon. Now, the building was constructed in 1950. It was the city's largest apartment complex at the time. The area will now be used for a $1 billion medical center. A reminder of the Penn State child abuse scandal is gone, at least for now. ABC's TJ Winnick has more. An early morning crash kills 2 California highway workers. Authorities say 2 vehicles crashed in a construction zone on the freeway in Torrance, which is south of Los Angeles. Both drivers and a 3rd highway worker were also hurt. Police are trying to determine if either driver had been drinking. Now to a big break in a story out of Iowa. There is new information about those 2 missing girls. Police now say they believe the girls are still alive and that they've been abducted. ABC's Alex Perez is on that story. And still ahead this news hour, today's toddlers are no strangers to technology, but is it a good idea to give your kids an iPad or a tablet? That story coming up in this week's I Learned segment.
Now, KTBS-3 News continues.
Should you get your toddler on board with tablets? Well, more than half of young children in the U.S. now have access to an iPad, an iPhone, or a similar touchscreen device. But is it a good idea to give your kids access to apps? KTBS-3's Jody Lowry offers us a closer look. Well, a little rain moving into the Shreveport area. If you haven't seen it yet, you probably will, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely give that a big thumbs up on that one. Tonight we're looking at temperatures overall 73 degrees, mostly cloudy though.
Well, yeah. You know, 98 is not so bad if the humidity's low, so there you go.
If the humidity is low. When has that ever happened?
That's our news for this evening. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 10. And remember, for continuous news 24/7, just log on to KTBS.com. Have a great evening.